Fellow gardeners, imagine discovering a centuries-old secret that could transform your garden's health while reducing your kitchen waste to nearly zero. Hidden beneath the surface of thriving Chinese gardens lies an ingenious system that works around the clock, silently converting scraps into liquid gold for your plants. The Chinese worm tower isn't just another composting method, it's a revolutionary approach to creating a self-sustaining nutrient cycle that will make your neighbors wonder how you achieved such incredible results with seemingly so little effort. The Chinese worm tower represents one of humanity's most elegant solutions to soil fertility, developed over centuries of agricultural wisdom in regions where every scrap of organic matter mattered. At its core, this system consists of a perforated vessel, traditionally made from clay or ceramic, buried directly in your garden bed with only the top rim visible above ground. You know, the genius really lies in its simplicity. The tower serves as sort of an underground restaurant for earthworms. These little guys enter through the holes, feast on your kitchen scraps, and then, well, they deposit their nutrient-rich castings directly into the surrounding soil. Unlike Western composting bins that need turning, temperature monitoring, and managing all those carbon-nitrogen ratios, the Chinese worm tower just operates on nature's own timeline. The buried vessel creates this protected environment where decomposition happens naturally, and the surrounding soil, it provides the perfect habitat for worms to thrive and multiply. When you take a closer look at how a Chinese worm tower works, you're really witnessing one of nature's most efficient recycling systems in action. Earthworms consume the organic matter you deposit in the tower, processing it through their digestive systems, where beneficial microorganisms break down complex organic compounds into readily available plant nutrients. The resulting worm castings contain nitrogen levels 5 times higher than typical garden soil, along with significantly elevated levels of phosphorus, potassium, and essential micronutrients. The tower's perforated design creates multiple entry points for worms while maintaining proper moisture levels and airflow. As worms move in and out of the system, they create tunnels that naturally aerate the surrounding soil, improving root penetration and water infiltration. The continuous movement of worms also distributes nutrients horizontally and vertically throughout your garden bed, creating zones of enhanced fertility that extend far beyond the tower's immediate vicinity. Perhaps most remarkably, this system produces liquid fertilizer as organic matter decomposes. Building an effective Chinese worm tower requires attention to both materials and placement, but honestly, the investment pays dividends for years to come. You'll want to choose a vessel that's about 12 to 18 inches in diameter and 18 to 24 inches deep, big enough to handle a good amount of organic matter, but not so massive that it gets tough to manage. Clay pots work exceptionally well due to their porosity, which helps regulate moisture levels. Though food-grade plastic containers with drilled holes can serve as an affordable alternative if that's more your speed. The placement of your tower determines its effectiveness more than any other single factor. Position it within 3 feet of your most nutrient-hungry plants, like tomatoes, peppers, or heavy-feeding leafy greens. This way, you're creating a concentrated fertility zone exactly where it's needed most. Bury the vessel so that only 2 to 3 inches remain above ground level, ensuring the majority of decomposition happens below the soil surface where worms really prefer to work. Loading your tower requires some strategic thinking about the types of organic matter you introduce. Vegetable scraps, fruit peels, coffee grounds, and eggshells provide excellent nutrition for worms, while also maintaining proper moisture levels. It's important to avoid meat, dairy, and oily foods that can attract pests or create anaerobic conditions. Layer your scraps with small amounts of carbon-rich materials like shredded paper or dry leaves, which help maintain proper moisture balance and prevent the organic matter from becoming too dense for worm movement. You know, the beauty of the Chinese worm tower really lies in its adaptability to seasonal changes in all sorts of garden conditions. During the peak growing season, you can actually feed your tower every day with kitchen scraps, confident that the increased worm activity will keep up with your plant's heightened nutrient needs. As temperatures start to cool in autumn, it's a good idea to reduce how often you feed the tower, while also taking advantage of all those falling leaves to create carbon-rich layers that'll break down slowly throughout the winter. Winter management definitely varies depending on your climate, but even in freezing conditions, the buried tower keeps working, just at a slower pace. You'll want to keep an eye on your tower's performance by watching how quickly organic matter disappears and checking on the health of nearby plants. A well-functioning tower should be able to process most kitchen scraps within about 1 to 2 weeks during the active growing season, and the plants within its influence zone should show off noticeably darker green foliage and more vigorous growth compared to areas farther away from the tower's nutrient boost. Even the most well-designed Chinese worm tower occasionally encounters challenges that require thoughtful intervention. If you notice slow decomposition or a lack of worm activity, the issue often relates to moisture levels or the types of materials being added. Overly wet conditions can create anaerobic environments that repel earthworms, while excessively dry towers fail to support the microbial activity necessary for proper decomposition. Address moisture imbalances by adjusting your feeding patterns and incorporating appropriate carbon materials. If the tower becomes too soggy, just add dry leaves, shredded paper, or small amounts of soil to absorb excess moisture. For towers that seem too dry, increase the proportion of fresh fruit and vegetable scraps, or occasionally add small amounts of water during particularly dry periods. Pest issues typically indicate that the wrong types of organic matter are being added, or that the tower lacks proper covering. Always cover fresh additions with a layer of soil, leaves, or finished compost to prevent flies and other pests from accessing decomposing materials. If rodents become a problem, consider installing a tight-fitting lid with holes large enough for worms but too small for larger pests. Once you experience the remarkable results of a single Chinese worm tower, the natural progression involves creating a network of towers throughout your garden space. Strategic placement of multiple towers allows you to customize nutrient delivery based on specific crop requirements and growing zones. Heavy feeders like corn, squash, and tomatoes benefit from towers placed directly within their root zones, while lighter feeders can share towers placed between rows or beds. Consider the seasonal rotation of your crops when planning tower placement, positioning them in areas where you'll consistently grow nutrient-demanding plants. So this approach ensures maximum utilization of the enhanced soil fertility, while also preventing nutrient concentration in areas where it might be, wasted on plants that require minimal feeding. Advanced practitioners often experiment with specialized tower configurations, such as creating larger communal towers for multiple garden beds, or even designing portable towers that can be moved seasonally. The Chinese worm tower really embodies everything we celebrate about living soil, the recognition that healthy gardens emerge from healthy soil ecosystems, not from external inputs and interventions. By embracing this ancient wisdom, you're not just improving your garden's productivity, you're actually participating in a sustainable cycle that connects your kitchen to your soil to your table in the most natural way possible. Ready to revolutionize your garden's health with this time-tested technique? Start your Chinese worm tower journey today and witness the transformation that countless generations of gardeners have discovered. Don't forget to subscribe to the Living Soil Lab for more soil-building secrets, and share this guide with fellow gardeners who are ready to unlock their garden's true potential. Your plants, and the earthworms, will thank you for it.